Your constitution says you cannot try anybody unless the law is written. Show me the written law. Show me the written law. Don't try it. Don't try it. Don't try rubbish. Don't try rubbish. Useless people. You don't know law. You don't know law. Your own constitution you don't respect. You bring forth judgment you don't respect. That's why we the law. Why we the court of law I ask?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, I know you attended the proceedings today.
Yes, I did.
For Nigerians to know.
Yeah.
Just a summary of what happened.
Well, what happened in court today, for me, continues to be travesty of justice. I've always said it that in Nigeria there appear to be two sets of rules, one for the Igbo man and another for the other Nigerians. This is exactly what I saw in court today. First of all, my name is Honorable Obi Agocha. I represent the great people of Iguano, Umuahia North and Umuahia South Federal Constituency. I am the primary representative for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So I'm going to speak to you as a layman. I'm not a lawyer. Today, there was a motion that was filed. Previously, I believe at the end of October, another motion was filed. And none of those motions were challenged by the prosecution team. They didn't raise any objection. The court did not overrule anybody, but admitted the motion. So on what basis then is the trial, the efforts that are being put to compel Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to trial when the motions have been put and yet to be challenged by the prosecution team? Mazi Kanu is asking for a simple question: on what law is he being tried? Neither the judge nor the prosecution team have answered that. And today, that motion that was raised by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and served to the prosecution team were not challenged. And it's very, very critical and important that we know that. However, the judge now ruled to say that he's reserved November 20th for ruling. When there are jurisdictional issues, thresholds that are yet to be overcome. So this is a political trial veiled as a criminal trial. And for the stability of the Southeast and for the stability of Nigeria in a whole, to bring to end the civil war that was fought in 1967, means that the president should please look at the totality of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's trial and bring an end to this charade, a travesty of injustice, bring an end to it so that the Southeast can be peaceful again, Nigeria can be peaceful again. But if they are determined in the way they have steamrolled this process, rushing to a judgment, then like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu says, there's a God in heaven, and the injustices that have been meted to Igbos, we will not forget. We will not forget. Even if we forget, our children and our grandchildren will not forget. Because it's important that everybody notes it, especially Mr. President, that in order for him to consolidate his goodwill for 2027, start with how he handles the matter of Nnamdi Kanu. Because you cannot be there as the father of the nation and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is being treated in the manner that he's been treated when every other person who has been charged with almost similar offenses as Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, at the determination of the court, has been let go. So why is Nnamdi still being held down, being punished, being subjugated? It's simply because he's an Igbo man. So if we get it, the president gets this right, then we will begin the process of healing and reconciliation and putting back the Southeast back as a home where people can come and feel free in their homes without running away from all these high crime and criminalities that are happening in the Southeast. So Mr. President has an opportunity now. The world is looking at us, both from the persecution of Christians, from the persecution of Nnamdi Kanu, to know how we are going to, put our houses in order. But like I said, is one person. You can take Nnamdi Kanu if you so wish. You have the authority, but many more Nnamdi Kanu will rise, because this is clearly an injustice that is being meted at one person who happens to be an Igbo man. So I plead with Mr. President to note that this is a political trial, and which requires a political.
My people, calm down and listen carefully. Something very dramatic just happened in court today that's sending shockwaves across the nation. Nnamdi Kanu, the IPOB leader who has been facing terrorism-related charges for years now, went all out against the DSS right there inside the courtroom. He didn't hold back his emotions at all. It was fiery, emotional, and filled with frustration. And now, the judge has officially fixed a date for the final judgment in his case. Before I continue, please, if you're following this story closely, hit that like button right now and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Because what I'm about to share will open your eyes to what's really going on behind all these courtroom dramas. Now, inside the court, people said the tension was so thick you could literally feel it. Nnamdi Kanu, who looked visibly upset, raised his voice and called out the DSS, accusing them of deliberately frustrating his case and violating his rights. He said they have denied him access to key documents, limited his legal consultations, and are doing everything possible to silence him before Judgment Day. Eyewitnesses said he was calm at first, but when the issue of his defense came up, that was when everything changed. The judge told his team, point blank, that this is the last opportunity to open their defense. If they fail to do so, the court will move on with judgment, whether they're ready or not. That's when Kanu reportedly stood up and said the court and the DSS have been working together to frustrate his case. Now, imagine that scene. A high-profile courtroom filled with security personnel, lawyers, and observers. And suddenly, a heated exchange between the DSS officers and Kanu's defense team breaks out. The whole place went silent for a moment before the judge intervened. At this point, everyone knew one thing. This case has reached its most sensitive stage. The judge setting a date for final judgment means the court is ready to close this chapter one way or another. But for Kanu's supporters, this is the time of deep worry. They're saying it looks like the court is rushing the case without giving enough room for fair hearing. If you've been following this matter from the beginning, you'll know it's not just a legal battle anymore. It's emotional, political, and symbolic. Millions of people are watching this case because they believe whatever happens to Kanu will shape the political future of the Southeast and even Nigeria as a whole. Now, let's break it down so everybody can understand what's really going on. The judge has basically told Kanu's lawyers, come and defend your client or we'll close the case. That's a heavy warning. It means if the defense doesn't step forward, the prosecution's case will stand unchallenged. And if that happens, the judgment might not favor him at all. But Kanu's team is arguing that the conditions under which he's being detained make it impossible to prepare for defense. They claim the DS has limited his access to documents, prevented regular meetings with his lawyers, and ignored court orders about his welfare. That's why you keep hearing them insist that his trial is being manipulated. Please, if you're still watching right now, pause for just 1 second and click like on this video, because stories like this need to reach more people. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. That's the only way you'll stay updated on this case, especially as the final judgment day approaches. Now, back to the main point. After that courtroom drama, the judge didn't back down. Instead, he set the next and possibly final date for judgment. He said the defense must be ready, and if they are not, the case will move on without them. And that's what's making people nervous, because once that judgment date arrives, there might be no going back. Outside the court, Kanu supporters were seen praying and chanting, calling on international bodies to intervene. They said if anything happens to Kanu, it could destabilize peace in the southeast. Remember, there have been several calls by human rights groups urging the government to allow a fair and transparent process. Even internationally, different organizations have shown concern about how this trial has been handled. They argued that Nigeria must protect the rule of law at all costs. And that's why this next hearing will be one of the most watched events in the country. Now, think about this. If the court finally delivers judgment and it doesn't favor Kanu, what will happen next? That's the big question everyone is asking. Will his lawyers appeal the case? Will there be a political negotiation? Or will the tension in the southeast increase again? These are the things to watch for in the coming days. Let's be honest. This case has dragged for too long. It has drained emotions, divided opinions, and drawn the attention of the entire world. Some people feel justice is taking too long. Others believe due process must be followed, no matter how long it takes. But at the end of the day, everyone just wants one thing: fairness. So, as the final judgment date draws near, let's stay calm and alert. Let's not jump to conclusions or spread unverified rumors. Whatever happens, we'll bring you the full update right here. So make sure you've already liked this video and subscribed to this channel. Now, I want to ask you, what do you think will happen at the final judgment? Do you believe Nnamdi Kanu will be freed? Or do you think the court will uphold the charges? Drop your honest thoughts in the comment section below. I'll be reading your reactions and replying to many of them. And if you want me to continue this gist, where I'll explain the possible outcomes and what it means for Nigeria's unity, just type "continue the gist" in the comments. Until then, stay calm, stay informed, and remember, justice is not just about the verdict. It's about fairness and truth.